I'm Steve Costigan. I'm the Senior Solutions Architect Director for Zadara, and I'd like to talk to you around how Zadara is enabling Veeam Scale-Out Backup Repository. So, those of you that are familiar with Veeam will understand that Veeam has this 3-2-1-1 rule, and having 3 different copies, 2 different media, of which at least one is off-site, is the optimum backup methodology that Veeam extols. Here at Zadara, what we're trying to do is enable a scale-out backup repository utilizing the industry's only hybrid cloud, multi-capable storage infrastructure that is delivered in a true 100% OPEX model that aligns perfectly with Veeam's cloud service provider model and delivering a end-to-end OPEX on-premises and via service provider capability, backup and recovery. So here we can see we have a VMware environment that may have a production storage that may or may not actually be Zadara. But by utilizing Zadara's on-premises capability, we can provide an on-premises backup, primary backup copy, and then using Veeam to provide a secondary backup copy into a service provider that may then utilize Veeam's new capabilities introduced with 9.5 Update 4 to provide the ability to replicate long-term storage onto object storage. Okay? So Zadara is providing this capability of high performance, mid performance, and object capability all within a single scale-out platform. But with one really, really unique piece is that every tier is isolated from every other. So this means that we're not sharing disks across multiple tiers. So in providing this capability, we're providing enterprise-grade performance and enterprise-grade scalability. So this delivers a very agile with infinite scalability on a pay-as-you-use model. So gone are the days where you have to try and figure out what you're going to need in 1, 2, 3, or 5 years. Gone are the days where you need to figure out what is my technology going to look like in 1, 2, 3, or 5 years. You can change it as you need to change it based on your business requirements. Now we provide this as a fully managed service with a 100% uptime SLA. So this means that you can be rest assured that your backups in conjunction with Veeam are absolutely guaranteed to be available to you. So here we have our model. In the Zadara model, we have a scalability that is based upon utilizing dedicated drives. We provide dedicated virtualized controllers. We integrate that using SRIOV to inject a hardware layer into these virtual controllers, and therefore providing complete isolation between each virtual storage array. This means that every tenant is isolated. This means that we can scale the controllers up and we can scale the controllers down on demand. This means the customer is only required to pay for exactly what they're consuming on a per hour basis. So if the customer requires short-term storage, utilizing a recovery mechanism, then they can deploy a new storage array with dedicated drives, and once they've completed the usage of that, they can simply present that back into the storage pool. They stop paying for it at that point. Now, how this works from a Zadara's perspective in conjunction with Veeam means that we can scale up these tiers independently, which means that you may have a requirement for today of large-scale high performance, but then over time you may need to scale your object storage. And this means that your object storage can scale independently over time, and we are responsible for managing the hardware infrastructure and managing the storage estate. You simply consume it. So in terms of the delivery model, how do we do this? What we do is we work in conjunction with colocation providers such as Cyxtera, Equinix, CenturyLink, and we provide the same capabilities on premises, and we provide the same capabilities attached to public clouds such as Google, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and others. Now this means that if you would like to provide a backup of your infrastructure, whether that's running AWS VMC or whether that's running on premises with your VMware infrastructure or via a service provider partner, you can provide a complete 100% OPEX model by combining Zadara and Veeam. So in terms of these features and functionality that we have, we're providing this unique capability of block, file, and object within a single platform, independently scalable. We have the capability of all flash arrays where you can turn on or off dedupe on a per volume basis. This isn't a all on or all off capability, you're in control. Everything is thin provisioned, therefore we're able to use our snapshot capabilities to fully integrate up into the application layer. We fully support large volume sizes, up to 200 terabytes from an archive tier perspective, but we also support integration via NFS, CIFS, and Active Directory for NAS capabilities, where you may want to integrate with AWS VMC or AWS environments, and then provide a backup NAS capability utilizing Veeam onto NAS running on Zadara. We fully support Fiber Channel, iSCSI, and ISER protocols on premises, iSCSI protocols in the public cloud. We also have a unique capability around stretched clusters. So if you're running an infrastructure that needs to run across multiple data centers, Zadara has the ability to stretch the environment across multiple data centers, and therefore if you're running a backup, even if you were to lose one data center, you can continue to run that backup and then replicate that offsite into a third-party location. In conjunction with this, we provide non-disruptive upgrades. So each element is independently upgradable, therefore we can apply a rolling upgrade process. We fully support remote mirroring, so if you would like to supplement the Zadara mirroring capabilities along with Veeam, then that means you're getting the best of both worlds. Additionally, we provide cluster support into our public cloud environment. So if you want to run SQL Server in AWS, for example, then natively you can't run SQL failover clusters. Zadara enables you to do that. And if we combine that with the Veeam SQL agent, then you're able to provide a complete VSS hardware-assisted backup of that infrastructure and replicate that into AWS S3 or onto Zadara's native object storage. Combined with that, we provide at-rest and in-flight encryption. So you can rest assured that your environment is protected at all times, whether you're utilizing SMB, NFS, iSCSI, you can encrypt all of that traffic along the wire and therefore also encrypt that traffic at rest. So here's an example of a university in Denver, Colorado that we've just recently released as a case study around our integration with Veeam. So here we have a customer that has an existing HDS storage array, and they wanted to provide some new infrastructure in terms of their Hyper-V, and Zadara is providing the high-speed SSD quorum here, but it is also providing the backup infrastructure that is providing the backup for this Hitachi storage. We're then able to replicate long-term off onto object storage located in the 6TB data center in Denver, and also take in additional other campuses and replicate all of this into a central location. This means that from a recovery perspective, regardless of where the failure is, there's always a recovery mechanism. So what does this mean in terms of our cloud tier capabilities? Well, by providing a capability of block, NAS, and integrating that with Veeam from a scale-out backup repository perspective, we can provide the high-performance primary backup storage capability utilizing all flash or utilizing NVMe or utilizing high-performance SATA drives with SSD cache acceleration, and then pushing the older data out into the cloud tier via the service provider. So this means that not only does Veeam enable an organization to provide backup as a service, as an on-premises capability, but the service provider can also enable that as a recovery mechanism and disaster recovery capabilities into their own facility. So here's how we bring all of this together. Whether you're on-premises and running VMware on-site, you can deploy a small-scale Zadara infrastructure from just a low-cost, low-entry point 2U appliance, all the way through to a 100-node cloud infrastructure. So it's infinitely scalable from extremely small environments. This can then be replicated or backed up by Veeam into the cloud service provider, where the cloud service provider is providing disaster recovery services. And should there need to be a recovery into a public cloud, then we can utilize Veeam here to either replicate this back into an AWS VMware environment for a complete OPEX disaster recovery model, or alternatively, if you're a hybrid cloud environment where you're utilizing AWS VMC and on-premises, then you can use the cloud provider to provide a complete off-cloud backup and recovery mechanism. So, essentially, in terms of Zadara and Veeam for the SOBA solutions, we're able to provide this single, simplified backup and replication solution as a complete 100% OPEX model, both on-premises and via public cloud, and via service providers. So this means that the cloud service providers are able to service enterprise customers as well as their own internal infrastructure using a single model. This means that we're providing a completely OPEX model, not a mixture of an OPEX and a CAPEX model. The rapid on-premises recovery is available by deploying on-site appliances, and this means that the customer doesn't have to worry about trying to scale that independently. All he has to worry about is consuming his storage on demand. So this means that we can continue to change the technology as the technology changes. As we increase from 15 terabyte SSDs, 30 terabyte SSDs, 14 terabyte SATA drives in the future, we're able to refresh that dynamically underneath the covers. We don't have to wait for 3 or 5 year refresh cycles. This is a major change in the dynamics of the way that people consume storage. And we provide this as a 24/7 managed service. So we're responsible for making sure that you stay up and your backups stay up in a Veeam environment. If you would like to know more, we're a Veeam Ready partner. We've gone through various testing, and this close alliance that we're building with Veeam is going to get closer and closer over time, and we're really, really excited to be part of this. So the real key benefit that I'd like you to take away is that Zadara and Veeam together is a better solution. It is a complete end-to-end OPEX model. You don't have to worry about CAPEX and OPEX and different management budgets. Everything is OPEX. Everything is pay exactly as you use it, when you use it, regardless of how you use it. If you'd like to know more, come over to the Zadara stand and we'll take you through a free trial.